Hey everyone, before we start the show, I just want to get some plugs out of the way. If you enjoy this podcast and you're into wrestling, check out the Nerds and Marks podcast or Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. If you're not getting your fill on movie and entertainment discussion, then check out the Entertainment Buffet podcast. If you want to dive into the world of video games, I highly recommend the Darkcast by my friends over at darkstation.com. Listen to them cover important topics and interview men and women from all over the industry. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hello everyone and welcome to today's shelved mini episode. I am your host, Jeremy Meyer. So today's mini episode, I don't have a ton to talk about, but we just posted our Justice League in-depth analysis and review of the DCEU. That's going up today, the same episode as this, because I was recording it over the weekend, but I had a very busy weekend, so I was trying to cram it in between like chores and working because I had to work this weekend. So honestly, I recorded it in chunks and it may sound like it. I edited it together as seamlessly as I could. So hopefully it didn't sound too obvious, but, we need to get ready for next weekend, or this weekend, I should say. And this weekend I am going to be hosting another interview with a friend of mine named Jeff Stolhand, who is a film director and down in Austin, Texas. I believe he's also done some commercial work and stuff like that. But he did a short film called Rain, and we're going to chat about that experience this weekend coming up. I'm very excited about that. But I feel like I watched something recently that I was going to talk about on the podcast, and now I can't remember what it is. Oh, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I did finally see the movie The Hurt Locker, which was a movie I was kind of avoiding for a long time after it beat Avatar at the Academy Awards, because I liked Avatar. It wasn't an amazing movie. I mean, Avatar is an amazing movie, but not in the stance of like, oh my God, like the story is so good, you know. It was an achievement in filmmaking from a production and technical standpoint. But I was always, kind of bummed that The Hurt Locker beat it, because I believe Avatar, aside from just its box office success, did offer some interesting things. But I saw the movie and I liked it. I didn't love it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a good movie, well made, but just some minor things that kind of bothered me with it. Oh, I know what it was. I watched The Ritual on Netflix. So this is a horror movie that has come out that has been getting a lot of attention lately, and I heard it was very good, so I decided to watch it. Full disclosure, I watched this while I was at work, and it turns out it's not the best movie to watch when you can't pay 100% attention to it. I was able to get everything I needed from it. I really enjoyed the movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I do think it will go up on a rewatch. This could be a 5 out of 5 for me. I wasn't able to absorb all of the character drama. It's the setup for this movie is like these group of friends. One of their friends gets killed during a robbery of a liquor store, and the other one was in the liquor store with him, and he managed to, hide and get away, and he feels guilty for his friend dying in front of him. And it's a couple years later, and or I think it's 6 months later, and they're on a hike in like some mountains, and kind of doing it as a in remembrance of their friend. I think it was something they were planning on doing, and now it's become like a what's the word? A memorial for their friend. And they end up getting lost in some woods, as you do. And as they're lost in the woods, they encounter some weird situations, and there's a monster that is hunting them. And yeah, it's a creature feature, which I'm not super big on creature movies all the time, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. I actually really enjoyed the creature and kind of the mythology behind it. This movie kind of felt like what the Blair Witch should have been. Like, if it wasn't a found footage movie and it was kind of a more traditional horror film, this felt very much in the realm of a Blair Witch. and I think it was, I mean, better than the Blair Witch, but they do a lot of really good stuff with like kind of psychological horror mixed with creature horror, and there's some really good production stuff of like them being in the woods, and this guy all of a sudden turns and part of the woods is now the inside of the liquor store, and it's unclear if this is just him hallucinating or if the creature's messing with his mind or creating these manifestations. And it's a very interesting movie. I don't want to say a ton about it. That's kind of just your basic plot line, but it's a movie worth watching. It's a very specifically made horror film. I don't even want to go as far as to say, oh, it's like a less is more type thing. They were clearly working on a lower budget, but the movie is just effective in the way it uses its horror elements, the way it uses the creature. They show what they need to show, and when they don't need to show anything, they don't show anything. And the drama is there with the characters, and the story is good. I highly recommend checking out The Ritual. I'm gonna watch it again just because I wasn't able to get the full effect out of the movie. But yeah, that's all I've really watched recently. There's so many movies out in theaters right now that I want to see. Black Panther I still haven't seen. I really want to see Red Sparrow, even though I'm hearing it's kind of middling and not bad but not great. But I love spy movies, so I really want to see Red Sparrow. But I am dying to see Annihilation right now. I keep hearing a lot of my friends have seen it and are really liking it. I'm seeing a lot of buzz about it on social media, and I wanted to see it anyway just because I think it's Alex Garland who made it, and he made Ex Machina, which is one of my favorite movies, which is something I will talk about once I get some YouTube content up. I'm still working on some YouTube content. My first video feature is going to be my top 50 movies of all time. So I've been putting together that list for like a month now, and it's really hard to put together a list of like 50 of your favorite movies and rank them. So it's taking a lot of work, but I'm gonna get that done and then get a YouTube video up, and then hopefully have some more YouTube content. I have some ideas for what to do for YouTube, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm trying to create a new YouTube channel because I've been using my own personal one, but I want to get the custom domain of youtube.com/shelvpodcast. So I'm kind of working on getting that going. But my current YouTube channel won't let me change my custom domain because I have some weird one from back in the day. So I'm using my shelved Google profile, trying to get that all taken care of. So if you search Shelved Podcast on YouTube, just follow both accounts, because I need a certain amount of followers on my new YouTube account before I can get a custom domain. So I'd appreciate it if you can just search Shelved Podcast and follow either one of the accounts. The one that I'm trying to use is the one that'll have the Shelved Podcast art as its profile picture. So that's the one I really need. So I'd appreciate it if you're able to do that. But that's going to be it for today's little mini episode. It looks like I'm less than 10 minutes here. So be sure to check back this weekend for our interview with Jeff Stolhand. And Jeff, I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. I've never said it out loud before. So yeah, we're going to have that this weekend. As always, be sure to check out our social media at Shelved Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us at shelvedfilmpodcast@gmail.com. And as always, check out that Patreon. We have some awesome reward stuff for you. So that's patreon.com/shelved. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your week.